Gold anchored near 4,600 as the dollar steadied on sticky inflation data. Today, the brief covers Forex and metals, and the day's biggest mover is saved for last. Pound CAD is trending with strong bullish momentum, and the structure of recent price action keeps the path of least resistance pointed toward higher levels. The Canadian dollar remains weighed down by trade headwinds, which reinforces the market's lean to extend gains while current structure holds. Euro-Swiss franc shows a strong bullish trend, with the market continuing to post higher reference points that suggest the path of least resistance remains toward higher levels. As long as that structure is preserved, the trend leans higher and further extension looks more probable than a reversal. Kiwi CAD is trending bullishly, with the market holding above key structural levels that keep the probable path oriented toward higher ground. Canadian dollar softness on tariff concerns continues to provide a supportive backdrop, making extension toward higher levels more likely while that dynamic persists. CAD Swiss franc carries a bullish trend, and recent price action reflects a market leaning toward higher levels despite broader Canadian dollar headwinds. The franc side of the pair and the overall trend structure keep the probable path pointed upward while current conditions remain intact. Gold is displaying a mild bullish trend, holding near elevated levels after the latest inflation data provided only a modest setback. The market appears oriented toward higher levels, with a speech from a key Fed-linked figure on the schedule adding a watchful tone to the session ahead. Euro-dollar carries a mild bullish trend on the longer structure, yet the probable path in the near term leans toward lower levels as dollar resilience from sticky inflation data applies downward pressure. The market looks more likely to probe lower levels while that dollar-supportive backdrop holds. Pound dollar is trading in a range-bound environment, with the market lacking a decisive directional lean in either direction. Within the range, the probable path tilts slightly toward higher levels, and price action will likely remain contained until a catalyst from today's scheduled events shifts the balance. Dollar-yen sits in a range-bound trend, with neither side establishing firm control, though the probable path leans toward higher levels as dollar support from elevated inflation readings persists. Bank of Japan tightening signals add a counterweight, keeping the range dynamic in play for now. The Fed's preferred inflation gauge showed core prices rising 3.3% annually in July, keeping rate cut expectations in check, while the Bank of Japan's Himino reinforced the case for further tightening. The Canadian dollar remained under pressure from trade tensions. The single most important item on the calendar today is the Jackson Hole Symposium. Aussie dollar is the standout on the board today, carrying a strong bullish trend with the probable path clearly oriented toward higher levels. A surge in Australian household spending has built the case for Reserve Bank of Australia tightening, giving the Aussie a fundamental tailwind that reinforces the technical structure pushing toward higher levels. That wraps the ForexBullion morning brief for Thursday, the 27th of August. Subscribe so the next edition lands the moment it drops, and the evening wrap will check whether gold's elevated hold and the Aussie's momentum carried through the session. This is general market information for educational purposes only, not financial advice.